Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Casual KO. We've got a special guest here, Harry from Pro Schmo Bets. He's going to be joining us. If you've listened for a little while, he has been on the show before. Friend of Alex, friend of Jared, and I consider him a friend. I don't really know you personally, but we've chopped it up a couple times, talked some fights, and it's definitely nice to have you on, Harry. How are you, buddy?
Very good, Ryan. Very good. Thanks for asking. I was just with Alex in Boston, man, this weekend. We were at the Encore, the casino.
What the fuck were you guys doing there?
What an
Having a
experience that was. What an
having a
experience.
very degenerate night.
Okay. Was it good?
Let's just say I had to dig myself out the trenches on the blackjack table. And then
His,
Harry
his worst table too. That's his worst table, and it saved him.
Okay, so
Harry's such an angel. He's like, bro, this table's losing you money. Go to that table. Boom. I put 250 down aces. I split them 21-21. We just flip it, and it was nice. But
so the
I
way
gave
Harry, the
longer.
way that Alex talks about you, it sounds like do you dabble in magic or anything? Like what's your deal?
Hell no, man. It's just I don't know, man. I just saw the boys over on the next table. They looked like they were very quiet about the table, winning a few hands. And I said, we gotta get to that other side, you know?
Okay.
He's a pro. What am I gonna say? He's just a pro.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it sounded like it was a good night. Harry, do you have anything that you want to plug up front here, man? Like where people can find you that listen to the show? Any work that you're up to outside of just, doing our little show here? What do you want to
That's
kind of
all.
plug up
Just the
front?
the proschmobets.com. That's it, man. Proschmobets.com. I just summarized my thoughts. I have a think tank. It's the think tank myself versus machine learning stats and AI behind fight picks, UFC exclusive. And I'm trying that now for the last quarter of the year because it was a terrible betting year for me. Breaking even on one or two particular fighters, like let's say Bruno Silva, plus 125 odds against Cody Durden. And I playing that for 100% of my account, and I was able to bounce back from 2 months worth of a setback. So so what I was doing was parlaying the money lines, man, and I knew early in March, April, I was making it known around, all the channels, through all the apps, for all the folks that follow, that it wasn't going to work out anymore, man. Parlaying two favorites or parlaying this long gone. You have to parlay with an over under, just for beginner's sake, right? And you'd be much more successful. And I was very, very stubborn about it. And I guess 3 quarters later, look at where I'm at, right? So trying to improve things now.
Well, tell us where you're at. Are you very profitable right now at this point in the year?
This event would have to take me over that margin. But for now, it's just break even, man. Break even events, and that's where I'm at. I'm
Okay.
I'm hoping, I'm tempted though to parlay though. You see, again, that's the problem. Because if it were up to me, I'm taking Gamrot and I'm taking old boy here, Dan Hooker, with that forearm injury. He's got like two rods being placed in there, between 3 or 4 months. Fight not to go the distance, and then Israel Adesanya on the money line. But I'm tempted to take Kai Kara France and Israel Adesanya as a parlay instead. See, I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. I need to get away from that. And so I'm working on it. And hopefully the .com synthesizing this and making sure it's black and white assists with that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you're honest, and we like that here, right? So, Jared, you have a daunting task ahead of you this evening. You're going to have to eat a habanero pepper. You lost a bet, a personal bet to me. We're 1-1 against each other. I
Hey, don't
lost.
forget I lost the bet too, so he's actually taking a big L for me. I'm gonna have to, take the
So you're
bet
too
on
much of a
that.
pussy to eat the habanero is basically what's going on. Is that what it is? Okay. So Jared's gonna eat the habanero. The one that I lost to you, Jared, it was he's got it right there. It was our Australian buddy out there, Robert Whitaker, against the his name slipped in my mind.
Ikram Aliskerov.
Ikram Aliskerov, and I took Aliskerov. Bad bet. But you also made a bad bet. And you have to fulfill your bad bet here. I had to shave my mustache, leave the beard. I looked like a terrorist for 2 weeks. It was fucking terrifying. And now we're back. We're back. and you're gonna have to eat your pepper. We're gonna do this later, so stay tuned. You're gonna get to hear this guy, cry while he's making picks. Anything that you want to plug up front, Jared? Anything that you're up to? I'm gonna plug our little ladder challenge at the very end, but anything that you've got?
Nah, man, just glad to be back. It's been 2 weeks. I'm down 2 wisdom teeth, down one dog, and up one cat. So
A lot
that's
of
what I
ups and
got
downs.
going. But
Rest in
yeah,
peace to the
fucking
dog, man. Rest in peace to the dog. This
Don't
episode's
forget we're
dedicated to him.
up another $480 because the ladder challenge just keeps hitting.
I know. If you fucking steal my plug on that, Alex, I'm gonna fly out there and I'm gonna make it a problem for you.
I'm
I'm
stealing the
talking about
plug
it at the
right
end.
now. Where I hit the ladder bet this week. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. Keep it
You hit
rolling.
it? Are we saying you hit it? Come on.
We all
We
hit
it.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Who cares? When that shit hits, nothing else matters. Let's keep flipping. Acrobat vibes.
Plug your stuff up here up front, and then we'll get into the breakdown.
Bro, follow the channel. We're making edits. Sometimes the ladder bet comes out late. We're getting it out by Friday typically because we like to try to snipe as many lines as we can. So be sure to follow us on our socials, Profit Picks, T Picks, Dangerous World Podcast, and Tail. We're going to flip it into 1800 this week. Let's go. Week 5.
Yep, it's gonna be fun, man. And we're on the fourth leg of this, I believe. We started with 50, and we are up to 904 after the goal is essentially to at least double our money every week. Sometimes we fall a little short as far as not quite double. Sometimes we make up for it. We made up for it this last week. We turned 427 into 904, and that was beautiful. It was a nice solid pick, and I think that I deserve just a little bit of credit for saying that Carol Hosa was going to step on the scale first. If I could have bet that, I mean, that's 20-1. You know what I mean? So that was nice. But yeah, we had the money lines on Carol Hosa, Yusuf Salal, and also Chris Gutierrez. And another thing that I did say was I was the most worried about Chris Gutierrez, and man, he put on a fucking stinker of a performance, but still ended up coming out on top for us. So we're gonna keep a good energy. We're gonna roll right into this week, and we're gonna have a good time, man. I think that this is a fairly easy week to make this stuff happen. And the guest of the week is going to get to take this first fight of the night, which is, of course, a nice little flyweight matchup. We got Stuart and Nicole, prospect coming out of the Australian, New Zealand area versus Jesus Aguilar. Harry, what do you think about this, man? I'm going to write all these picks down. What we do, if you forgot, man, we do like, method and round. If you think it goes to decision, feel free to throw out any props you want. But what I'm looking for here is a victor and a method and round. So what do you think happens in this first fight of the night, Harry?
All right, man. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Stuart Nickel. He's a regional guy, right? Regional promotion. And, to people's surprise, he was not signed to the Contender Series, just signed straight into the UFC to fight a guy in Aguilar. So I like what the matchmakers are doing here, man. It's really a grappler versus a grappler. That's really what we're going to see here. And I trust Nickel to take out Aguilar's back at some point. I hope it's in round 2 or 3. It would be nice to see him do it, get a back take in round 3. Fight not to go the distance, open this, Perth card with a bang. And, talking about a bang, I mean, is the KO live for Jesus Aguilar in the first? Of course it is, man. Straight down the middle. It's definitely live. But Nichols got good footwork. He's got a good Muay Thai too for a base. And his striking is not bad, man. The guy's looking forward to striking too in case he can't keep Aguilar down. So I like that, man. And I like Nickel for the side for the bet.
Nichols, what are we taking here? Method, round, anything, or just decision? Sounds like you lean towards a finish.
Yeah, finish, round 3 finish.
Knockout, sub?
Sub.
Perfect. Nickel, sub, round 3. Jared, what do you got on this first fight of the night, man?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side. I got Aguilar getting an early sub. Nicole, I think the guy's kind of one dimensional. He just really, really pushes the wrestling, and he's good at it too. But he's really looked good against a low level of competition. I don't know. I haven't really seen enough out of him yet to think he comes in here and in his debut. I mean, this is a big moment for him. This is the biggest crowd he's ever been in front of. Aguilar's at least been there before. He's been in front of a crowd, and he's a scrappy dude. He's the kind of guy that's going to fight for your money. And, he has a dangerous submission game, and he's a scrambly dude. So, if Nicole or Nical, however you say it, if he's really pushing the grappling in this fight, Aguilar is a scrambly motherfucker, man. He can make it a lot closer than the line is making it look like. It's just one of these ones. I think the line's just way too far apart. I got to take the guy that I think has a higher level of experience, and I just think he can have the bigger moments here and maybe snatch something up early. I mean, you know, the I know he got subbed by Muhammad Makayev, but he's a really, really good grappler. But he almost had Makayev out of there early. I mean, he had him close to out. So I'm going to side with Aguilar here. I'm going to say he gets a submission round 1.
I like it. I like it. Alex, you can round this out before I bring us home.
You mean Tyra in that regard?
Yeah, Tyra.
Same thing. He's the Japanese version
Makayev,
of
Tyra.
Makayev.
Yeah, no, he almost snatched him up right out the bat. Who am I thinking of that almost snatched up Makayev?
Feel hope.
Yeah, feel how
Yeah.
had him in that nasty knee bar.
Yeah, Nicole, I'm going with Stewart here. I like the grappling. I think Jesus can get taken down. I think he can get outworked here. They're touting Nickel as one of the better BJJ practitioners coming out of Australia. And after watching some tape, he's really slick. I do agree with Jared. It's a bunch of cans. But I think he's going to show out here, get in the early fight, not going to have too big of a crowd. So his corner should keep him safe on this one. I actually love the no distance here. I do agree with Jared. I think both of these guys are finishers. And that guillotine is nice for Jesus as well. It's just I think he's a one-trick pony, kind of like Dustin Poirier is with that. So I'm going to go with Stewart gets a KO in round 2. I think he just gets help from the ref. I think he just puts him in a situation where the ref has nothing other than to stop it.
What are we going? Sub 2?
Round 2 knockout.
Oh, knockout too.
Stewart. Yeah, because I honestly, if you're betting props on Stewart's line, I think the no distance is a safe bet in this fight. But if you're gonna bet Stewart, I would take the finish and not get greedy on a knockout or a sub because he can get either or.
Yeah, man, I agree. I love hearing you East Coast guys say Jesus. It's Jesus. There's one Jesus. There's one Jesus, right?
All right.
It's Jesus. All right. Yeah, Jesus Aguilar. That's coming from Tucson, Arizona. Harry, if you don't know, man, we got a lot of Mexicans out here. We say it, the Mexican way. But dude, I'm torn on this fight because Jesus, I believe in MMA karma. Jesus did not win his last fight. He threw 19 strikes. I think he landed 19 strikes. He got grapple fucked by Mateusz Mendonca, I think it was, in Mexico City, and the judges just awarded him that bullshit.
That is one of the top 10 worst robberies I've seen.
It was horrible, and I had money on Jesus that night. So I believe in MMA karma. I think that it's real, but I think that he's more skilled, and that guillotine is something that this dude searches for against a wrestler. I think he can catch it. Like, he tries to set these guillotines up. He doesn't just catch people in it. I tend to disagree with you a little bit, Alex. I don't think he's such a one-trick pony in the guillotine because he has set up his grappling to land knockouts. Yeah, the knockout was against Shannon Ross in the UFC. But I think that was in Australia. He's got a good track record out there in Australia and Jesus Aguilar. So I am with Jared on this. I got the sub round 1 for Aguilar, but if it gets out of round 1, man, I think that Aguilar is live to get robbed out there in Australia, just like he robbed his Brazilian counterpart out there in Mexico City. So a little bit of a conspiracy going on there, but we'll move on to the second fight of the night, and I'll take this one. And we will pass it around, share my screen here. So we've got Kanan Song versus Ricky Glenn. I was misinformed. I thought this was taking place at lightweight, and it is actually Ricky Glenn that's moving up, if I'm not mistaken, to fight at welterweight. Ricky Glenn typically fighting at lightweight. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Kanan Song, man, a lot of power. Highlight of this dude's career is he almost knocked out Ian Gary, right? And like that was like his highlight. So dude's got power. Horrible fight IQ though. When he had Ian Gary on death's door, he fucking followed him to the ground. Bad decision making. But I think Ricky Glenn is very bad. I don't think that Ricky Glenn is UFC caliber anymore, personally. Last win was over Joaquim Silva. not a horrible win, but I mean, this was what we're talking about in fucking, I mean, this is 3 years ago at this point. I think Ricky Glenn's cooked. I think Song Kanon should steamroll Glenn, and I think he gets a knockout fairly early. I'll call it round 2. I do believe in the new glove conspiracy. There is some narrative out there that the new gloves kind of lead to less finishes with the hands. And yeah, give me Kanon's Song, knockout round 2. Alex, what do you think about this one?
I'm on the same boat. I like Kanan. Hard to go with Ricky Glenn, but I'd wait for the scales, and keep your eye out on these guys. Like just like Yana Santos last week. Seeing her from the previous fight to this fight, she went on a cycle. So keep your eye out, guys. USADA hasn't been really working all that much. Keep your eye out on Ricky Glenn for the weigh-in, see if he's on the juice. But I gotta go Kanan Song. I think he's the bigger guy. I think he puts his lights out in round 1.
Early finish. Jared, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm on the same side as you guys. I'm kind of worried that I might be like underthinking this one with just kind of chalking it up that Ricky Glenn isn't good. But Keenan Song's nothing special, but I just think he's a bit sharper, hits a little bit harder. He's just more technical. You got to imagine this fight's going to take place on the feet. And, if these guys are going to strike, they're both going to be there to get hit because they are both hittable. But it's one of these ones where I think Song, he's probably just a step ahead and just a lot more durable. So gonna have to go with Song here. I'll say he gets Glenn out of there. Call it KO round 2.
Jared and I in lockstep so
shit.
far. Harry, what are you thinking, man?
Yo, check it out.
Hey,
The cat's
so
here.
Oh, the cat's fucking photo
You
bombing
little
here.
bastard. What up, dude?
What'd you name him?
I just said what up, dude. The shelter named him Ollie, but that's pretty gay. I think me and him both agree on that.
You got to think of a good name while we're on the show. But Harry, what do you think about this fight, man?
it's interesting. It's good matchmaking. When you add odds to it, you do want to lean Song Kenan, right? Because he's fought, competitively through his career. Max Griffin, Gary. But then you have Bedoya, and he lost that fight. That was a robbery, right? And I guess, 4 months later, they book him to fight with Kevin Josette, which to me appears to have a good narrative and a good push from the UFC. It may be why they made him look better against Bedoya and win the decision there. UFC does this sometimes. I don't know if you're realizing right now the flyweight division is short on talent. It's a problem. And short on talent, not because they don't have a roster, but because everybody's getting finished left and right. I think there's literally only 2 flyweights that have 3 4-fight win streaks. It's Charles Johnson and Bruno Silva. So, you got to matchmake with these guys. So I think Kenan Song, he's ran his course. I like Ricky Glenn. He is an average. He's got an average skill set. He is well-rounded, though. He might not have a takedown or 2 under his belt, but he'll defend them. He can scramble. He can box. He has jiu-jitsu. Of course, a very below average level. No top tier. And I think that's going to be enough. Just seeing how he could stuff Kenan Song if Song sought a takedown, I'm confident he'll stuff him. Like if there's a line out there for Kenan Song to get a takedown, he ain't getting that shit. So I don't know. Find the odds for that. But I got Ricky Glenn here, man. If it's a close fight and those odds are that wide, I'm taking it. You're not. Kenan Song is not knocking them out. And forget this talk about the Chinese market. We need Chinese fighters. No, that way it's ran its course already. It's over. What the 6, 7 fighters they got, we're down to like 2 that even have vitality in fight records, right? It's Wei Li and I think
who else, Harry?
I think Richie Lang. I think he's got like a 2-fight win streak, and that's it. Everything up and coming is Japanese. And why? Because the Chinese don't like Western ideology, man. They don't like it. And Chinese MMA is not popular. That's it. So my pick is Ricky Glenn.
And there will be a line on that takedown for Song Kanan Friday.
Yeah.
So take a look on that. It'll be on DraftKings.
Hit me with a method and round, Harry, or a decision. What do you think?
Oh, shit, man. It'd be nice to see Glenn get cut from the UFC with a knockout, but, that's asking for too much. I think if it goes anything over 2.5 rounds, I wouldn't be surprised. It's good. There's durability on both guys, in proportion to their skill set, for sure. Their power, their volume. So I'll give that an over prop.
So you're going decision just for the sake of the show.
Yeah, decision. Yes,
Decision?
decisions. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Sweet. Okay, Alex, you can take this one. We're gonna go into Tom Nolan versus Alex Reyes. Nah, I mean this is a mismatch if I've ever seen one, but I mean the odds reflect that as well. But what do you think about this? How does Tom Nolan win, and how early?
Tom Nolan destroys the sacrificial lamb in round 1
By a knockout?
by knockout. That's enough set.
Yeah, we
Great
don't need to
fight to
spend too
watch.
much time on this one.
He has a great nickname too.
Kind of sad what they're doing to Alex Reyes, man. Like this dude spent 6 years out of the octagon because he had like a fucking blood infection. And like I think that the UFC just hates the Reyes family because Dominic Reyes beat John Jones, and they just want to like wipe this family off the face of the earth, and it's kind of sad. Spoiler alert, I agree with Alex fully here. I think Tom Nolan, this is a showcase bout. I think he gets it early. I think that if you're betting on a sub 1 minute finish, this is Tom Nolan knockout in sub 1 minute over Alex Reyes. Sad situation here. They shouldn't do Reyes
That
like this.
first minute finish is super live in this fight.
Yeah, it's fucking kind of disgusting, honestly. Jared and then Harry, you guys can give your thoughts.
Yeah, it's
I mean, Tom
mismatch.
Nolan, he predicted it himself. He said first round knockout confidently. He said lock of the year. I swear to God, like Bilal's picks. He said, I'm a lock, man. Pick me.
Okay. Jared?
Yeah, mismatch. Nolan round 1 knockout. Sucks for Reyes, but just dusty chin, not happening.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move right up. Jared, you can take this one, man. Jack Jenkins versus Herbert Burns. In my opinion, another mismatch, man. What do you think between the Australian and the softer of the two Burns brothers?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Back-to-back mismatches. Jenkins round 1 knockout. Burns just or could come round 2. Burns has horrible cardio. He's got a bad chin. The dude's real only threat he's going to pose is a submission threat, but I don't see it getting there. I don't think I'm underthinking this one at all. Jack Jenkins all day. Get his first finish in the UFC. What a better guy to finish. What a better place to get it done. It's just made for him. It's Jenkins round 1.
Round 1 KO. Alex, same?
100% Jack Jenkins, man. Herbert only has that puncher's chance, just like he did with Nate Landwehr. Is he live for another flying knee? 100%. Is the no distance the safest bet on this fight? 100%. At minus 600, and is Jack Jenkins at minus 900? Good value? No. They're forcing you to take a prop here. I guess the best only value I could find would be Jack Jenkins inside the distance. Maybe I guess you could get greedy and maybe go round 1 KO. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jenkins round 1 KO. I wouldn't go too crazy with this one because Herbert Burns is a little wild card out there, and yeah, he's gonna be live in round 1, guys. He's a round 1 or bust kind of fighter, and if anyone's taking Burns, just get greedy and bet him in round 1. Give yourself some better odds.
All right. Harry, you're up next. And full transparency, I wrote Jenkins in for all of us already, but if you want me to change that, Harry, I can change it. I just feel like everyone's on Jenkins here and it makes sense, but maybe you can change my mind on that if you were on the other side, but let me know what you think, man.
I'm not, man. And if you were to bet him, then I recommend you bet him, parlay him with Alex Reyes. Put your lunch money on it, if that's what you're gonna do. If that's what you're gonna do.
I mean, that's
No
big
way,
money.
man. I think Burns has been finished by like everybody. What, Bill Algeo? He's been finished by everybody, man. He last fought what? Julio Arce. I was there too, actually, for the Blanchfield card. Yeah.
Oh, you were there in the was that in the Apex?
That was in Atlantic City.
Oh, okay, cool. Dude, I want to go to one of those Apex cards so bad, man. It just seems kind
Oh
of
man,
dope.
that's the best. That's the best.
Have you been?
It's the best. Yeah, it's the
He set
best,
the
man.
Bruno card.
You did you get to sit on the sofa and get like the catering
He's
and all
on
that
the
shit?
TV, bro.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
did.
missed you on there. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the rules, Harry. Method round. You going KO round 1 as well?
You know what I don't like? I don't like that it's opening up the prelims, and to close out the early prelims, we're predicting back-to-back finishes. So now I'm starting to have doubts, man. If the books are keeping us off Tom Nolan with minus 1,000 odds, they're probably gonna milk us for the props too. I don't know. You know, I'm superstitious about that. So I don't know, man. Jack Jenkins is a bit slower. So and Burns, he could walk Burns back, and Burns could move laterally. I would take an over. I'd say this fight goes the distance for once in this
Wow.
man's fucking career. I'm just gonna say that. He's taller, bro. He's got like a 4 inch reach advantage. Jack is a small guy, bro. Jack is a small featherweight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's big money. If you take Jenkins' decision, that's probably going to be like, I mean, plus, I don't know, 400, 500. I mean, he's definitely guaranteed to win. It might be bigger than that. My thing with Jenkins is
Bigger
he's
than
not a
that.
finisher, but he's got disgusting leg kicks for that division, and Burns is a quitter. So I think that this could be a leg kick TKO knockout in round one. You know, Burns hits the deck after 2 leg kicks and doesn't want to get back up, and the ref calls it because they're tired of the bullshit. And they want to see Herbert Burns just kicked out of the UFC. So I'll even get specific with it. I'll say it is a round one TKO knockout for Jenkins via leg kicks. And I think that that happens. So all of us are on the Jenkins round one knockout, other than Harry, who is on the Jenkins decision, which is a bold call. I don't hate that. You know, kind of zigging when everyone's zagging, but not to the point where you're picking the fraud in this.
That'd be a way for them to make the bread, you know, because when it's minus 800,
Right.
everyone's forced to take an over under there. So it could be a way for the books to
Sure.
mitigate the damage.
I do think a safe bet is the under. So I'm in a little bit of a disagreement here with Harry, but I think that yeah, man, if they're trying to fucking massage results here a little bit, they could push this to a decision if they set in a judge that is very, you know, liberal with the decisions. Next fight of the night, Harry, we're going back to you for this one. Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos. What do you think about the ladies? And this is actually Jared's big moment here. So maybe actually Jared should take this one first, because this is the habanero fight.
I don't know.
Sorry
Maybe I should eat it and let somebody else talk. So I'm gonna have to mute while I chew this thing, so I'm not in everyone's ears.
Okay, we'll go ahead and pop
Jared,
that
what
thing.
did you lose? What did you lose?
I picked Manel. Me and Ryan had a bet between us where I picked Manel Kopp. He picked Muhammad Makayev. Loser has to eat a habanero pepper.
Jared, do you think Cap had busted that toe like before the fight and just knew
I
he
don't
would
know.
dislocate it? What do you think about that?
Because that line swelled. Remember, Jared, you were already kind of sketched out before the fight started.
I was like rapidly losing confidence closer and closer we got to the fight. I actually didn't put any money on it because I had the pepper bet on it. And I was like, I'm not trying to lose money and have to eat a fucking pepper. But yeah, that was weird. I don't know. And Makayev should have got a point deducted.
I
You know,
bet a point
excuses.
deduction in that. How do I not hit that?
All right, let's go, Ryan. Which one looks good to you?
Take that top one I think it's
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Right here?
Yeah.
Red one.
This bad boy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'm
Good luck, buddy.
I'm gonna mute while I throw it down. I'll see you on the other side.
All right. Well, hopefully not. Harry, this is you, man. Casey O'Neill, Luana Santos. What do you got?
Oh man, this is a tough one. But you know what? I mean, I've been around women's MMA for a long time, right? I chose Miranda Maverick over the tree tall Sabina Mazo. And I like Casey, man. She's a good wrestler. Her last time out in the octagon, she was ailing from like a knee injury. I think she even had surgery for it. She was just coming off of rehabilitating it. Luana Santos has not really fought good competition. And I know she has momentum, but if I'm not going to be under a psychosis to rationalize all the marketing material out there, man, that she publishes to embellish, that charisma she carries, man, so natural, suggesting she's on the rise, bro. I'm taking Casey O'Neill, hands down, hands down. She's got hands, she's got footwork, she's got wrestling. She's really good, man. She's put in the work too, and I like that for I think one time in a long time she's going to have a fight on her side of the hemisphere, and won't have to travel through time zones. So this is gonna look good. I like it. I think Luana Santos is she's getting taken down, man. It's just a simple women's MMA fight. and the submission attempts are not going to work. It just she's too technical too, Casey, for Luana, and I don't know, man. I think this is made perfect for Casey, so it's a good statement too for her. I think a win like this with Luana under her belt, on her record, after that Lipsky fight, it looks good. It's good. It's good. UFC can do something with that. UFC can do something with that.
Okay, method round. What do you got?
Oh man, this is definitely decision and no finish here.
Okay.
You'll see striking, scrambling, all of it, all of it. Unless
Okay.
somebody, just gasses out, then it won't be Casey though.
Okay. I'm not laughing at you, obviously. I'm laughing at my buddy Jared here. Did you take those seeds in as well, Jared? I saw just
Yeah, it's
okay.
so much worse than I ever imagined.
Yeah, those
Oh
are
my
it's
God.
definitely the hottest pepper you've ever eaten. The only ones that are, I think, hotter than that on record are like Scotch bonnets, ghost peppers, and scorpions.
Crying.
So yeah, this is all you, buddy.
Oh my God. Fuck. I can't even think straight right now.
You already had your pick.
Oh
though.
my God. Yep. O'Neal decision.
O'Neal decision. Interesting. Alex?
Luana Santos is hot. She's looked good on fucking against low level bitches. Whew. She's on 2 weeks notice. She already has iffy cardio. 2 weeks notice. Other side of the world. Aggressive bitch. It doesn't stop coming forward. O'Neal.
He's crying.
So yeah, we're gonna go with O'Neal.
He's emotional about this one. Okay.
Oh my God.
O'Neal decision. Make sure if you got any heartburn pills or anything like that, pop one of those, Alka-Seltzer or something like that.
Oh God.
Alex, what do you
All
got?
natural.
I'm gonna go against you guys. I'm going Luana. I think she's the more marketable girl. She went on that Nina drama show recently. Usually, when they're bringing them onto that show, they're the ones who are the A side. And Casey's number 15. She's got to defend her rank and gatekeep here. I think Luana's getting to the top 15. I think she can outwork O'Neal in the grappling for a couple rounds. But you're also right. Round 3 is going to be very scary. The volume of O'Neal is going to be much higher. But I'm definitely going with Luana Santos and the momentum. She's almost fought 3 times since O'Neal has been in the octagon. I just got to go with the activity here. And I know anything close, I suspect they're going to give it to the more active, more durable, younger girl here. So I'm going to go Luana Santos wins a decision.
Decision. Okay. I'm on the side of you there, Alex, but I think that Luana actually gets the finish here. I think that she submits O'Neal, and I think that it comes in round 1 or 2. Who did? Okay, so Ariana Lipsky submitted Casey O'Neal pretty early, and Ariana Lipsky obviously pretty talented. She's very good, and she's really found herself, to be fucking like hitting her stride right now. But I think that Luana Santos is a problem on the ground. She's aggressive with the takedowns. I think she gets takedowns in round 1. I think that, if O'Neal pops back up, I think that she just rinses and repeats takedowns. Rinsing and repeating is something that lady does, man. She's good at those takedowns, and coming off a big win. Yeah, this is short notice. She's flying across the world. That's the one holdup that I have, but I think that she still gets it done. I fully agree with Alex that Luana's the much more marketable woman out of the two. Very attractive. I love my Latinas over here. I think that she just got to. She has everything that the UFC wants, and I think that the UFC is kind of selling on Casey O'Neal. Now, Casey O'Neal's original matchup was a much more winnable fight against Teresa Bleda, who is aggressive but not skilled. And I think that was a fight that really fit well into Casey O'Neal's skill book. But Luana Santos is a completely different fighter than Bleda, I think, from what I've seen. Different builds, everything different about her. I think Luana Santos gets that, I'll call it round 2 sub, which means, I'm not too confident on the round, but I think that she finds a sub.
So O'Neal loses to 3 Brazilians in a row.
Yeah, I mean, she's the opposite of the Brazilian Slayer. Like fucking Nicholas Dalby is the Brazilian Slayer. She's the opposite of that, right? Like she just can't find these wins, and it's gonna be rough. She's the Scottish girl. She's supposed to be kind of more local, but I just don't see it happening, man. I really don't. And
just watched Braveheart last night too. So
did you?
O'Neal all day.
Okay. Hey,
The bias. This is real.
the bias is real. I mean, Braveheart will get you patriotic about Scotland the same way that the Patriot will get you patriotic about the United States, dude. Same shit. You're like, fuck yeah, Scotland deserves their
I
freedom.
think if that movie like went on Netflix and was featured, I think everyone would be betting that Casey O'Neill line would flip.
Right. Yeah. If they
I
just,
was on O'Neill before I watched the movie, for what it's worth.
hey, it's almost over, Jared. It'll last maybe 5 more minutes.
I feel like I'm getting to the tail end of it, but I'm fucking freaking out, so it's freaking the cat out. I kind of feel bad for him.
Nah,
He's
he'll be
like looking
fine.
at me all fucked up right now.
I'm sorry, but it'll be fine. We had a deal. And by the way, this deal was like 3 weeks in the making because your damn wisdom teeth. So, it's all good.
Yeah, man of my word.
You'll be good. We'll keep it on you, Jared, because this is just gold. Josh Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos, or Ricardo Ramos, as the Brazilians say. But what do you think about Culibao versus Ramos?
Well, for the people listening to just audio, I apologize for the heavy breathing and snorting.
It's
But
okay. They like it.
I'm going it's pretty back and forth. It's a close fight. It's good matchmaking. I think Ramos just a little more dynamic, shows a lot of different looks. Main weakness has been the grappling. I don't think he's got to worry about it here. If anything, he can probably push some of his own grappling. Might find some success against a guy like Culibao. Culibao, tough as shit. A little bit one-dimensional with that Muay Thai style. He's got good hands. Low kicks probably his best weapon. Solid strength of schedule. The guy's battle tested. Both of them really are. But it's kind of a coin flip to me, and coin flip fight, I'd rather be on the underdog. So Ramos decision.
All right.
I'm
All
gritting another
right.
drink.
Ramos decision. Man, I'm on the other side of this. I think Culibao is being set up again for a win. Ramos just doesn't look like he likes fighting anymore. Like he's quit twice to guillotines in his last 2 fights, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to double check. Yeah, 2 guillotines. Guillotines aren't supposed to work in MMA. Like at high levels of MMA, it's not supposed to work. I mean, how many people did we see try and pull Gilly, and then it just doesn't work? So I think Culibao, he's got the dog in him. I think he's the tougher guy. I've heard, by the way, I saw this on the Anakin Florian podcast, that no one chugs a beer quicker than Josh Culibao. And that makes me like him a little more because, if you can chug a beer quick, that means that you're a real dude. And yeah, I think that this dude just gets in there and gets it done. They're both coming off of 2 consecutive losses. But I like Culibao a lot here. And I think that I think he could finish Ramos, man. I think he really could. Yeah, this is featherweight, but I think that Ramos, I think Ramos gives this up. I think he could look for a way out when it gets tough. The crowd's going to be on Culibao's side, and they want to see this dude win. I think the UFC is making this matchup intentionally for Culibao to stay in the UFC and just continue kind of trying to climb the ranks there. I don't think he's going to fight for a title anytime soon. I don't think he's ever going to do it. I don't think he's going to see the inside of the top 5 ever. And I think it's rare that he sees the inside of the top 10, 15, whatever. I don't know where he's ranked right now. 41 according to Tapology, but I don't think he gets too high up, but he's definitely more skilled than Ramos. And give me Culibao. Give me a knockout round 2 for Culibao. What do you got, Alex?
I'm with you. I'm on Culibao here. I think he reached his ceiling in his last fight. Unfortunately, it was close, but I got to go with him here. He's got more ways to win. I think Ramos only has one path to victory, and that's out grappling Josh. And there's a clear path for that. If you're going to be betting methods here and double methods, take Ramos by sub and then pick, whatever you like Josh to win by. Because Josh has gotten in 3 very close submissions in the past couple fights, if you go back and watch. And he was lucky to get out of those. And I think if he gets caught with Ramos like that, it's a wrap. The fight to end by sub's also a good look. But I'm going to go with Josh, weaponizes his cardio, and wins a round 2 knockout.
Lockstep together, Alex and I. Harry, where you at here, man?
I mean, Ramos, man, this guy is the rangier guy, He's long. Can he sub Culibao? I mean, he's got more tape now to see how he could get it done. I just take Ramos because he's the underdog, He's just much linkier too. He's Culibao, man. He's very motivated too. The crowd's definitely going to push him. And he's a dog, man.
You're not concerned with
Nah,
the
yeah, we gotta cut Ramos out of the UFC. All right, let's go. We go Josh Cooleybout.
Harry, I need a pick, and then I will just throw a couple thoughts out there. But you said that you want Kulabau method round. What do you think?
Man, they gotta fight it, man. They gotta fight for that contract. The Brazilian. I'm going decision.
Decision. Okay. I forget who we ended on. I'll take this one. Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker. Jared said this was a 1-800 gambler fight of the night. I disagree. I think that this is Tafa all day. And I'm pretty confident on Tafa, man. Walter Walker losing to the worst heavyweight in the division. And I mean, he's got 45 seconds of cardio, man. He really does. I don't know how he's won any fights, and I think he's got a couple decisions. He's got 4 decision wins. Maybe the moment got to him, he had a cardio dump or whatever, but the skills are just not there. Yeah, he can blast double leg takedowns and whatnot, but Junior Tafa's pretty athletic. As long as Walter Walker doesn't have leg kicks like fucking Patrick Starr, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, nothing's going to happen. And I think that Junior Tafa wins this, and I think that he could potentially knock out Walter Walker after Walker gasses 50 seconds into the fight. Give me a late round 1 knockout for Tafa. Harry, since you were muted there for a little bit, give us your thoughts on this fight.
Oh, I couldn't get around to taping this, but are the odds even?
I don't think they are. I think that
Minus 130. So basically a pickup.
okay.
Yeah. Did it open up even though? Do you know that? Or was old boy here an underdog?
It
Yeah, they
must have
opened up
opened
minus 110 each.
That's interesting. So according to the line, that is suggestive of a huge favorite going down on the card and Tafa being like the lock of the year. Because if you're moving 20 cents, how much what is it, minus 130 now? Yeah, with all everyone's betting Tafa. And if they wanted to milk it, that line would have been opened at minus 170, 180. So they're not trying to milk Tafa. It's like they're trying to give them up. Like, hey, here you go. It's the most common sense alpha male pick. Pick this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Heavyweight. Interesting. I hope Gamrot wins, but yeah, I'm going Junior Tafa here.
You hope Gamrot wins, huh? Yeah, I mean, I'm
I'm
down to get to
nervous
that
now.
one.
I'm nervous.
Did you
Anyway, yeah.
did you lay any money on the other side here on Walker yet or no?
No, we're keeping it Junior Tafa. I like it. It's good.
Method and round for you.
Man, I think this is not going the distance. Round 1, finish.
Harry and I in lockstep. Alex, where you at?
On the other end there, I had Lucas Brzeski in that first fight, and I thought it was a very, very close fight. I thought it could have gone either way. I think I also had a bet on the over there. I like Walker here to just outwork Junior. If it was his brother, if it was the other Tafa brother, I would have said drop the balance. But I think everyone's getting confused here. It isn't Justin, it's Junior. He's getting worked by guys like Mohammed Usman, his size. Now he's dealing with a real heavyweight at 265 who's cutting to make weight. Like Walker isn't a guy that's coming in, walking in. He's a guy that's cutting to make heavyweight. He's a serious weight bully at heavyweight here. And he was on short notice in that fight against Lucas. I think he's coming in here. I think he's going to show a little bit of better cardio. And I think he wet blankets him here. A finish is definitely live. I wouldn't mind a no finish, no distance bet here. Just because, Tafa's dangerous on the feet. Walker, if he doesn't improve that cardio, he's definitely getting taken out in round 2 or 3. But I'm going with Walker. I think he has a clear path to victory, which is just take Junior down. Clear as day.
You're going decision?
Yeah, I'm going to go decision.
Wow. That is your second decision on the night. For the record, I have no decisions. Harry has 3 decisions, and Jared has 2 decisions. Is this going to be your third, Jared? What do you think?
No, not this one, but I got more decisions coming up. Yeah, this, like I said to you guys before, 1-800 gambler. I want nothing to do with this fight. I will have no money on this fight. I mean, fuck, man, who cares? Junior Tafa, round 1 knockout. Just
Okay.
because Walker looked so bad in that debut that he was supposed to be promising. Even watching tape on him, it was like, damn, this guy's striking's kind of shit, but we'll see. And he still came out and looked like shit, even in the grappling. And then I got to go with Junior Tafa. He beat the #1 pound for pound heavyweight to ever grace the UFC, Parker Porter. So let's go. Junior Tafa round 1 KO.
Where does all the Parker Porter hate come from, dude? I don't
It's a
get it.
no, it's a joke. It's just funny, just the way he's built.
I know he's built like a fucking bag of milk, but like this guy, he's living his dream. I don't know if he's still living his dream, if he's still in the UFC, but yeah, I don't know, dude.
I
I always
just
liked Parker Porter, man. And he's
I
not
was on
good
a
at
job,
fighting.
dude. Like any job you're on that like there's like a roofing crew of white dudes that are just like fat middle-aged guys that drink beer every night. It's like I can find Parker Porter on every job site I go on.
Yeah, he's the everyman. You can't hate on
Yeah.
Parker.
No, it's
All
all
right.
love.
All right. Jared, I'll let you take this one. You're in charge. I got to step away for a second. So just kind of regulate who goes next out of Harry and Alex here until I get back. Well, we got a good fight here, man. Jinglang Li Jinglang is how I've always called him, but he's taking on Carlos Prates, a phenomenal Muay Thai striker, fighting out of Fighting Nerds, and Li Jingliang, kind of getting a little old, long in the tooth, as they say. But yeah, Jared, give your thoughts and then kind of regulate until I get back. It shouldn't be too long.
Yeah, I'm on the Prates side here. I'm not super confident as much as I would like to be, but I gotta back him here. I just love the guy's style. Obviously, he's got that Muay Thai base. He's got it tattooed across his chest. The dude's fast. He's a tricky southpaw. He switches stances often. He's throwing out teep kicks. He's just constantly showing different looks, and he might not always be the highest output, but this dude is like for real the definition of a finisher. On the feet, he's just so technical, and the dude lived in Thailand for 6 years, and in that he had over 100 fights in Thailand, and it really shows with his style. Now, with a style like that, you're susceptible to get wrestled, which against a guy like Lee, he should probably know his best bet in this fight: push the wrestling. Prates, the majority of his fights, he's knocking dudes out. With Lee, he's never been knocked out. The dude's super durable. He's very, very well rounded. Like when you look at his game, you can't really point to any area and say he's a specialist, but you can't really point to any area and say he's bad at that. So, it's tough to get behind Prates here, but I'm gonna do it. Maybe the age and kind of just the two directions they seem to be going right now is playing a little bit of a factor. I do like Lee. He's a good fighter. He's got a heavy right hand, good grappling, good cardio. Honestly, he does have more ways to win this fight, but it's just one of these ones where I think one guy's on the way down, one guy's on the way up. So I'm going to go with Prates here, but I give Leach a ton of credit. The guy's very tough. I think this goes a distance. So Prates by decision.
I like that. I like that a lot. Alex, what do you think, and how do you think this fight goes?
I've been back and forth with this one. I like the value on the Leech. I really do. I think the line's a little bit wide for a vet like the Leech here, and given the styles that beat him, I bet D-Rod in that last fight. I thought I got away with a robbery, to be honest. And if considering that his last loss was Kamzat, I hate the inactivity. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He's had a lot of surgeries. I heard one was on his spine. You hate to hear that. So given that, that's probably why the line's a little bit inflated, throwing a little bit of injury insurance on the line, which makes sense. So, if he was, I wish I knew he was super healthy. I might take a shot at him at plus 270. Just too many question marks here. I will be the guy to go against the grain here and say that Li Jingliang pulls out a decision and gets a couple takedowns. Because just looking at tape too, Prates doesn't do good early. He's a slow starter. And I think Lee can take advantage of that and just eke out a couple rounds and win a decision here. I think Prates is on upset alert this week.
All right. Harry, where are you at, man?
Yeah, so I think that there's I think that Prates is the lock of the card. And the reason for that is because, so he had sustained a neck injury and he had treated it. I think it'll be like 9 months now from that injury. And he was complaining often through training camps, even after his fight, where he could not even move his arm anymore, about tingleness, numbness on his left elbow. And yeah, I think that this guy's in no good shape at this age to fight where you're required to pretty much exert the best of you, you know, in an octagon. So I think that despite Pradas, yeah, starting slow, Li Liang, the leech, is going to be slow as it is. And some say that he requires surgery for that neck injury he had sustained. So I think that Pradas is going to, you know, hopefully finish him in the third or go to decision with this guy and win a easy fight.
All right. Are you taking a round 3 finish or a decision? What do you
Nah,
think?
I'm gonna go for full decision. You know, the leech never got the surgery. You know, but definitely ailing, man. Definite. So he says his nerves are striking him on his elbow, and it's a disaster, man. That guy's what, 37 this year too. He will be 37. So it's time, man. It's time for the boy to go.
Prata is
Speaking of
fighting on his
birthdays,
birthday.
Prate's birthday on fight night.
Birthday boy. That's always good. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm on Prates knockout round 2. I think he actually finishes Leach. I know Leach is very durable, but the thing is, like, everything Harry said, guy's old. He's got some health problems. Alex, you touched on it too. Physical health problems, not so much like you know, any kind of diseases or anything that I know about, but like the bones are starting to fail him. And yeah, he's been fighting for a while, man. He is a serious veteran, 19-8. That's a lot of fights. He's fought fucking 17 times in the UFC. That's a lot of times to be fighting at that high level. And you know,
With
he's
the
kind of
best.
what's that?
With the best.
Yeah. He's fighting people like, you know, he's losing to people like Neil Magny. I do think he beat D-Rod, but that was a robbery. He lost to Jake Matthews. But you know, that Jake Matthews loss, we're talking about 2018. Neil Magny, yeah, you know, all kinds of people lose to Neil Magny. That fucking Canadian prospect lost to Neil Magny. But I mean, Jared especially knows, Alex knows how I don't think very highly of Canadian MMA. You know, like these guys, they after GSP, these guys are just not very good unless they're girls. Like, you know, Jillian Robertson is decent. Some of these girls are good. But yeah, man, I just don't see it. I don't think that Leach gets any more high level wins in the UFC, and I would consider Prates a high level win. Prates'
He
Muay
will
Thai
take
is
him
so
down.
sick. I
Ryan,
wasn't a
I think he
believer.
will take him down.
If you're talking Harry, we can't hear you.
I
Oh,
can
I
I can
was
hear him.
saying, Ryan.
You guys hear
Yeah,
me?
I was saying,
Yeah.
Ryan, I was saying that I think the leech is gonna
Alex,
take
can
him
you hear?
down for sure.
I can't hear shit.
Jared mute.
What
Can
the
you hear me
fuck?
now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, dude, that was on my end. I'm so sorry, Harry. What were you saying,
No,
dude?
no, you're good. No, I'm just saying that I think he'll take him down for sure. Like you said, Pradas will start slow, but he'll take him down.
The Leech will take Prates down?
Yeah, I think so. So if there's like a line for that, that's interesting because that's what you do with slow guys, you know, and that's what you do to stop them from all those kicks, man. That shit hurts right down the center, you know, your abdomen is tough.
I just
Brian, I
love
did
those
want to.
step in knees from Prates, man. Those step in knees are sick. Like that was one of the first knockouts with the new gloves. And he just goes in and he can find that liver, dude. And on that right side, he throws that left knee so well.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That it's tough, tough, tough. Ryan, can you tell me what the topology votes are for either of these fighters? Because
Yeah,
if it's about even on Pradas' birthday, Pradas is a lock, bro. That isn't by
80% on Pratas.
80%.
75 Prates on I mean, yeah, similar. 75-25. Most of the
By
people
finish.
that are on the Prates side are thinking, you know, it's a knockout. 80%, 81% basically of the votes on Prates are by knockout. Um, some psychos have it by submission, 1.5% of those people, and
Yeah,
then 17.
so I think that's reasonable. I think the Leech is gonna find those takedowns just to buy himself some time in those rounds because there's no way he's winning this fight. But will it go over 2.5? Yes. If there's something set at 1.5, even better. That's my opinion. That's my take.
Okay. Yeah, man, I think Prates is a lock. But you know, Alex isn't on that, so he's going to not make it to our ladder bet, I would assume. But maybe we can find some other things here. It's just it's a I think it's a fucking lock, man. I don't know who said it.
One's disappointed.
I didn't know. I'm fine with it, dude. We all got to agree. I think Jared was the one that said it. I only caught the tail end of his breakdown. Maybe it was you, Alex. One guy's going up, one guy's going down. Like we know who's
Yeah,
going up, we
that
know
was
who's
me.
going down. What was that you?
Yeah, I fucking love this cat so much. Sorry, I'm distracted.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight. I'm very excited to see how Protez's low volume interacts with Leach's just durability. You know, I don't think that Leach I'm sorry, I don't think that Protez punches himself out like some people are kind of throwing out there, I heard, because he's not high volume enough to do that. And I think the fighting nerds, man, they're fucking hot. They're like Hansel right now. They're so hot. You know, if you know the Zoolander references, that's where it's at. But let's move on. You know, we got a heavyweight matchup here. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Harry, you haven't gone first in a while, man. What do you think about this matchup?
Ty is very efficient with his volume, man. And when he wants to take the fight to distance, he can do so with a guy as proportionate to him as Rosenstruck, right? In height and weight. But man, this guy can brawl to Ivasa. I really hope he finishes this southpaw. But tough, tough, tough to see. What I would like to see happen though, because I am betting Tai Tuivasa, I'd like him to take down Rosenstruck. Just hold him there. Because the guy does not get up. I promise you, if Rosenstruck drop takes Tuivasa down, Tuivasa's getting up. But Rosenstruck is not getting up off his back, man. Absolutely not. So yeah. Hopefully Bam Bam could win this. You know, there's rumors that he is going to be KFC. So you know, that kind of discouraged the bet there for a second. But you know what? I've seen these boys work very hard before they get cut or before they're told their contracts won't renew and they know it. For example, Nate Maines, he knew they wouldn't renew him. The manager gave him a heads up like, "Hey man, I'm not hearing back from the UFC. Go into this fight." And he wins. So yeah, I like Tuivasa, man.
Are you talking about Nate Maness
Yeah, Nate Menes. Yeah, Menes.
when he fought fucking who's that guy?
And finished him.
No, he
Jimmy the
fought
Kid.
Jimmy
Jimmy
the
Flick.
Brick Flick, dude. And he took him to decision, right?
That
That seemed
was
like a
Yeah,
fixed
yeah, he
spot.
did. He did. He took him to decision. Yeah.
And didn't Nate Maness get cut after that?
Yes.
yes, he did.
Right. So it's like, I mean
What happens
that's
when you rig a fight without Dana getting his cut?
I think that Maness fucking rigged that fight, man. You know what I mean? So Harry, you're on Tuivasa because you feel like he's gonna get cut if he loses.
No, I think he is moving on, man. There's rumors, talks about him moving on to BKFC. So, but we'll see, man. You know, that's where the brawlers are at. So, but I like Tuivasa, man. I was just saying that there was apprehension because he might move on, man. I think this is like the last fight on his contract too. So, but again, this is a fight he can win, man. He could take down Rosenstruck. Rosenstruck is like a seal, man, on his back. A seal waiting to be fed, man. It's weird.
I like that analogy actually, but I don't think that the UFC will ever let go of Taito Ivasa. Personally, I think he's too fun. You know, I don't understand what this matchmaking is. Why would you give Taito Ivasa someone that could possibly beat him? Give him people like Lucas Brzeski. Give him people that just are not very good. Give him horrible heavyweights, soft heavyweights that he can just knock out because this guy's such a fan favorite. I don't understand what they're doing. He went blood and guts with Cyril Gahn. Like that's
But
wild to do.
the
He
thing is,
actually
Ty being ranked number 10, it's harder to give him those soft matchups because people will be bitching, why is he fighting an unranked guy? Once you get into the rankings, it's a lot harder to find those easy matchups, you know?
Dude, I don't think anyone's bitching anytime Tai Tuivasa fights, man. He's got a certain type of star power to him.
No, what I'm saying is people will be bitching if you give him a guy like Bretsky or something like, he should be fighting, a bigger name or at least somebody that's ranked. They can't give him as soft the matchups when he has a number 10 ranking next to his name.
But dude, off of 4 losses, isn't he fighting someone up in the rankings? Isn't Rosenstrike
He's
higher up?
12. It's Ty's 10, Rosenstrike's 12.
Okay. I don't know, man. I just don't see it. Tai Tuivasa is such an interesting character in this entire world. Yeah, 4 losses, but they were all fun. Every time Tai Tuivasa is fighting, you're excited because he's a fun dude. You want to see him win because he's going to drink out of a stranger's shoe. You know what I mean? Like it's a interesting little fucking dynamic that he's got there. It's so fucking weird to pick this fight. Harry, I missed your pick and your method, man. Sorry. What did you have on this?
I'll say Tuivasa by decision.
Tie decision. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. Just lay and pray on this guy. That's all Ty got to do. You could try and brawl him if he sees the opportunity. I'm pretty sure he'll go, but I'm pretty sure he respects this southpaw, man. He definitely, as Jared. Jared knows. Jared is a striker,
Yeah.
boxer.
Well, and Rosenstrike's a pretty high level kickboxer, so I just wonder how this is going to go. Jared, what are your thoughts on this as a striker? What do you think? I mean, for those that don't know, Jared is a Muay Thai practitioner, right? You're working on your hands a little bit more lately. So, what do you think about Rosenstrike's Muay Thai skills? Like, first of all, kickboxing skills.
Dude, it's at heavyweight, it's kind of hard to range the skill because it's like, you know, there no one's as technical at heavyweight. It's just so much power is behind everything. There's, with these kind of guys, it's not like you're looking at guys that are super technical, just throwing speed. It's like guys like this, every strike that gets thrown could be a fight ender. So I do think Jairzinho is sharp, and I think he has a way, way better gas tank. But it's one of these ones that like these guys are gonna go out here and bang. If Jairzinho is smart, take Ty to the ground, get him tired, and then start to look for a finish a little bit later on. But if you're fighting a guy like Tai Tuivasa, he's a guy you're going to want to try to wear on because he possesses the most danger in the first round. But every time this dude throws a punch, there's danger. So it's tough, man. Ty is just a fat guy who's KO or bust, and I think he said it last week or the week before. It's like every time we see him, he seems to be fatter and worse. And Jairzinho, he's kind of been at a base, he's kind of like plateaued in the UFC. Like, what you're getting with him. Like, he's going to come to fight. He wins the fights that he should win, kind of checking guys at the door. And then, when he takes that big step up, it doesn't tend to work out for him usually. This isn't a big step up in Ty. I mean, this is totally a fight Rosenstruck can just fucking wear him down and then get to him later on. But I don't know, man. It's just, I would guess somebody's going to get knocked out in this fight. I don't imagine it goes on for more than 2 rounds. So just because I really only see Rosenstruck struggling with grapplers, I don't think he's going to worry about that with Ty. If anything, he can be that grappler here. These guys both possess that same big KO threat. So I'm going to say Rosenstruck finds a knockout, call it round 2. Maybe he can wear on him for the first round. Maybe Ty has a big dump in the first round, and then into the second, he's looking a little rough. But it's a tough fight, man. It really is a 50-50 fight. So I'm going to be on the Rosenstruck side here. I don't think I'm going to bet on this. Probably just going to enjoy it. But yeah, someone's probably going to sleep here.
Okay. Alex?
Been back and forth with this one. I like a lot of what you guys said. I have to admit that if there was a rigged fight on this card, I would say it's this one, in my opinion. Because
yeah,
I think of back to the Volkov Rosenstruck fight, and that was just one of the worst stoppages I've seen in a long time, and we could easily see that replicated here in Australia to give a little incentive to Ty to stay with the UFC. And as we've seen some controversy with the ref. We had a guy in our group chat, MMA Jesus, going back and forth with Steve Herzog over not stopping the Shepe fight. So it kind of seems like a lot of these refs do know what they're doing, and they are kind of chirping back to the community a little bit.
You talking about that Chepe Jackson fight where he scored a fucking 30-25 on 2 judges' scorecards?
They're saying that fight really should have been stopped.
30-25.
It was 30-25, 30-25, and 30-26. Like, it was domination.
Yeah, so I put a red flag on this fight for, risky behavior around the politics of it. But I'd say Rosenstruck, it really just comes down to the coaches. Are they gonna, because Harry's right, if Ty can get a takedown, this fight's over. He's got this fight in the bag. But if it stays standing, I think Rosenstruck's gonna outpoint him. I just have a little gut feeling that we're gonna see a horrible stoppage here. I'm staying far away from this fight, but I'll go Rosenstruck wins a decision.
It's crazy that you guys are on or well, I guess it's just you on the decision. I cannot see this going the distance. Like I just can't. Nothing in me sees this going the distance, and I
The
don't think Ty gets a
three-rounder.
takedown.
It's a 3-rounder. Rosenstruck has, can outpoint him easily. Just volume on the outside. He just
Alex
has
loves
to-
taking overs in heavyweight fights.
It didn't work out
It's
last
a
week.
fucking
It definitely did not work out last week.
that's a
It did
tough
not.
thing. Flyweight unders and heavyweight overs are rough. Man, I think Rosenstrike goes for a takedown in the early rounds. He never does that, but I think that Rosenstrike could go for a takedown and just fucking grind on Tuivasa
Look,
for
dude, I'm now Alex shaking his head. When Jairzinho usually struggles, it's against wrestlers. This is his chance to be that wrestler. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I just see it happening, man. I could see this dude shooting a takedown the first minute.
You know what? It is true. You're probably right. It is probably in the works because now that I'm thinking about it, Rosenstruck is a little too technical, and he might be a little too afraid of a of like a Barbarena brawling his ass, you know. So he's probably gonna seek the takedown. But again, when he drops, Ty's just gonna roll over on the seal.
Well, dude, see, that's the thing is like the whole saying is if you're a boxer and you're fighting a brawler, you want to box the brawler. If you're a brawler and you're fighting a technical dude, you want to be a brawler brawling a boxer. Like you want to try and like if you're fighting someone super technical, make it chaotic. If you're super technical and you're fighting a chaos fucking agent, you want to make it technical. You want to get away from that brawling. You don't want to be just throwing overhands and hooks and all this shit. And we see a brawler in Tai Tuivasa and a boxer in Rosenstrike. And it's so hard to not see Rosenstrike getting the finish here. And I think it comes later, 2 or 3. And I'm gonna say that Tai Tuivasa is the more athletic of the two, if that even makes sense. I think he is the more like sheer athletic guy, even though he's out of shape. He's just wild. Like he's going to do some crazy shit. But I think that Rosenstrike slows that down. A takedown or two will help that. I mean, imagine Rosenstrike getting a takedown in round 1 and a takedown in round 2, and then he just knocks this dude out in round 3. I'm going to go Rosenstrike, knockout round 3. And I don't think it's that crazy, man. I think that this dude slows it down, does what he has to do to get the win, and Tai Tuivasa loses 5 in a row, unless Rosenstrike's getting paid to take a dive, which we hope to not think in the UFC, but money always talks. So yeah,
I
let's
honestly
go.
I don't think Jairzinho's shot a takedown in the UFC, but what better time to do it, right?
Similar to what you were saying with Jenkins, like he's never fucking finished anyone, right, Jared? And now you're
Right.
saying like, yeah, I mean, this is a good opportunity to finish fucking Herbert Burns. So yeah, I think that we might see some weird fights here, but yeah, let me see some fucking takedowns from Rosenstrike. He's got the ability, and Tai Tuivasa is not going to be expecting that. The crowd's going to boo. It's going to be a shit show. Everyone's going to be bitching. But yeah, Rosenstrike, I think it's the KO in round 3. Marking it down. Lock it in. Drop the balance, as Alex says.
We know what's not making it to the ladder. I'll tell you that much.
It's definitely not. Neither one of these heavyweight fights should be in there.
No, God, no.
Neither one. So, and yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight, Harry. If you want to listen in on that conversation, you should have heard Alex last weekend. Holy shit, he was calling us all kinds
We
of
need to
fucking
see
names.
Carol
Wait.
Rosa on
Was
the
it worth it
scale.
though? Was it worth it? Alex talking all
No,
that shit was.
it wasn't worth it. He needed to see Carol Rosa on the scale because he thought she was going to miss weight. And our sweet, sweet Carol,
Sweet
first
baby
lady,
Carol.
first one on the scale of the day, weighs in, looking sharp, and she put
Bro,
on just a
Carol looked
master
better.
class.
Dude, yeah, masterclass. Bro, she looked better than I've ever seen. Like that improvement increment from one fight
Yeah.
to the next. Bro,
That comes directly from her eating out Denise Gomes. I will tell you that right now. That's where that's coming from. These two are some beautiful lesbians out of Brazil, and they're getting their shit done. Denise Gomes, my favorite female fighter right now. All right, let's move on to the next fight of the night. I don't even know who's going. Jared, you want to take this? Alex, you want to take this?
Yeah,
Whoever.
I'll go for it.
All right, Jared, we got Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan the Hangman Hooker. Got that wild fucking chess piece. It's fitting. It's just not a good tattoo. But what do you think about the style clash of the rinse and repeat wrestler, one of the most boring styles in the fucking game right now, Mateusz Gamrot, versus Dan Hooker, who is just like loved by everybody, man. 10 years in the UFC. The UFC just did a piece on him. 10 years in the UFC, and he is a fucking fighter's fighter, man. This dude's fought at several weight classes. Love Dan Hooker. How can you not? But I think that my favorite fighter of all time, Dustin Poirier, took a little piece of him when they fought, and he hasn't really looked the same since. So, what do you think about this nice matchup here at lightweight?
I think Dan Hooker gave Gamrot the best nickname I've ever heard, and it was Mateus Spam Shot. Like, dude, that is
Ooh,
perfect. It's a
spam shot.
spam shot, dude. That's exactly what he is. I mean, like you said,
That's witty.
rinse and repeat. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know if someone came up with that and he just fucking put it out there himself, but that is perfect. But you know, we know what he's gonna do. He's gonna come in here. He's gonna want to get it to the ground and just, you know, be boring but dominant. Hey, yo, fucking cut it out, dude. He's
talking to the
fucking
cat.
clawing the couch.
He's not talking to us here, guys. He's talking to the cat. Focus,
All right,
Jared.
well, I guess he's just gonna do that. But yeah, spam shot, rinse and repeat, dude. All I
That's
gotta
your
say is
cat's name. Your cat's name is Spam Shot.
I should call him Spam Scratch, dude. He keeps fucking clawing up my
Yeah,
fucking chair,
spam
dude.
shot, bro. That's a lock.
Name him Spam Shot.
What
You're
you
looking
little
for a
spam
name.
shots fucking about to come into the frame right now.
That's
Spam
way
shot's
less
gonna
gay
get
than
a-
Ollie or whatever.
I
Spam
know,
shot's gonna
Ollie
get
sounds like a
round one
poser.
kick.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, he's almost. Oh yeah, he's back in the frame, little fucker. But yeah, spam shot. You know what we're getting. Rinse and repeat. He's gonna get, you know, be going for those takedowns. Just if he's, you know, he needs to make it boring. That's just how he fights. But against a guy like Hooker, man, you better hope you get him down early, and you better hope you can keep him down, because Hooker's the kind of guy that you know, Ryan's talked about it before with like fighters versus martial artists. Like Dan Hooker's a fighter. He's coming in there to fucking bang. So every moment this fight's on the feet, Gamrot's, you know, he's in trouble because, you know, Hooker's going to be bringing it to him, and this dude can take a fucking beating. I don't imagine Gamrot's going to be throwing much of one at him. If Gamrot gets a finish in this fight, I'd imagine it'd be by sub, because, you know, Hooker's just too tough. But it could be one of these ones that if you're on the Dan Hooker side, it's just a real frustrating fight where he's having these big moments on the feet, and then he's just getting taken down and controlled. And you know, unfortunately for Hooker, that's just kind of how I see it going. It's just one of these ones that Gamrot's got to get him down early, often, and just, you know, whose game plan is going to go here? The strikers or the grapplers? With Gamrot spam and shot, I just, you know, you got to look at it like that. It's probably going to be Hooker having big moments and Gamrot finding a way to make it boring, and could even be a split decision. But I'm going to say Gamrot gets a decision win here.
All right. I will go right now because I am on the other side, man. And the reason why is because in every one of fucking Mateusz Gamrot's last 4 fights, if I'm remembering correctly, he's been dropped. He's been dropped. Okay. So this is a perfect opportunity for someone that, you know, if you like the point spreads on DraftKings, to take a plus 3.5 on Hooker. This is the spot to do it, because a drop in a fight tends to be at least a 10-9. It could be a 10-8, depending on how the rest of the round works out in an
Damn,
MMA fight.
you said he got dropped in his last fucking 3 fights?
4.
Yeah, it tells you I didn't give this fight my due time.
From
Four
what I
out of the last
remember.
5, because he did beat Fiziev via that leg break.
Okay, so yeah, maybe, well, yeah, that wasn't even a real fucking win, right? So yeah,
You're
maybe
right.
it would have been 4 out of his last 5. So, I mean, Beneil Dariush dropped him. Arman dropped him. Jalen Turner absolutely dropped him as well. And then
Either way,
Rafael Dos Anjos dropped him as well.
out of 9 UFC fights, he's been dropped 5 times. Like,
Okay. Well, and it's
that's
coming
pretty
more
crazy.
and more. It's coming more and more lately. So give me Dan
Man.
Hooker in front of his fucking crowd, in front of everybody. You know, you said it yourself, Jared. He's going to have the bigger moments on the feet. What are the referees scoring more? They're scoring damage over this control time. And they just cut Makayev because he's so fucking boring. It's not just because he's boring. It's also because of his personality. People don't like him and stuff there in the UFC. But yeah, Dan Hooker, man, like there was that piece on him in the UFC, 10 years in the UFC and all this stuff. He could retire at some point if he was smart. Dan Hooker's not smart. He's tough. And yeah, I think Dan Hooker goes out there and I think he gets the decision win. I don't think he finishes Gamrot, but I think that he does get that decision win. And it might feel like a robbery to people that are holding Gamrot tickets. And actually, I wanted to put Gamrot in the ladder bet early on when we saw this, but I am having heavy second thoughts on that because I just don't think that Gamrot does enough damage in this new era of the UFC where they're just 100% looking for entertainment and damage. And you look at these two fighters, one is far more entertaining than the other. So give me Hooker by decision. I don't think he finishes Gamrot. Alex, where are you at here, man?
Give me some grappling in this fight. I think we see a submission, maybe little Dan Hangman, a little Dan guillotine maybe, but I like Gamrot to get a round one takedown, get the grappling going, and find a submission. That's what I like. I don't think this is the crowd favorite that's gonna be winning tonight. I am rooting for him, but my heart's not gonna be making me money this week. I think he's taken too much damage recently. I gotta go with Gamrot here. Done.
Harry, am I crazy? Am I fucking dumb for taking Dan Hooker? Are you on the side
No,
of
no,
Gamrot
no,
with these guys?
no, you definitely see what's wrong with Gamrot, and he has not improved at all, bro. Bro, they gave him Dos Anjos, bro, as his last fight. He is not improving whatsoever, bro. He's one dimensional. He persists in his base, which is wrestling, to help him and mitigates risk that way in the octagon, avoiding to exchange in clinches or avoiding to exchange with strikes and things of that nature, meeting in the center of the octagon to fight. So you're not wrong, but and yes, I do like Dan Hooker. I do like him for a finish on the feet or a submission against Gamrot. The problem is Dan Hooker had a fight scheduled with Bobby Green. Had to pull out of that shit because for the second time, right, within like a span of 4 months, he fractures his arm. And then if I don't know if he has a screw in there or not, it didn't heal correctly in place. So he was sparring. And then in his fight with Jalen, he had also fractured his orbital. So you got a guy that's the size of a welterweight about to fight Gamrot, who's ailing. Now, how I'm betting this fight, it's the fight not to go the distance, 1000%. Because if Dan does blitz Gamrot, right, with flurries, with combinations, or he just jabs him and then connects with a right, then it's over, right? It's game over for Gamrot, who's incredibly chinny, has not improved over the years, and is a KSW guy. That's it. But is that likely? I don't think so, man. This is Gamrot's shot, to contend for a title. And I would like him to fight against Islam, so Islam has more credibility in his title defenses than Volk.
Hmm.
What's incredible is that he was going to fight Bobby Green. Dan Hooker was going to fight Bobby Green. Had that fight happened, I think Dan Hooker would have won. And guess who we would have seen Dan Hooker face? Who did Bobby Green just lose to?
Patty.
Yup. And that was the fight I think the UFC wanted to make. Dan Hooker versus Patty Pimblett. So why? Because clearly they knew, that Dan doesn't have much time left. So I'm taking Gamrot. I'm not confident. You're right in all ways you assess Ryan, this man's skill set. And I'm just taking the fight not to go the distance, man. Gamrot and the fight not to go the distance. So I'll have those two in separate parlays.
Perfect. For the sake of the show, you got a method and a round.
Yeah, I'll say that Gamrot gets an armbar finish on Dan Hooker, man. That's if you're a smart motherfucker, Gamrot, you better go for an armbar finish, man.
Are you thinking round 1, 2, 3? What do you think?
I think definitely round 3.
Later?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
I mean, I don't hate it. It's a tough fight for Hooker, but I mean, dude, Hooker will have 2 broken arms and 2 broken legs and still continue fighting, man. Like that's the thing. Like this dude is such a fucking badass. Like I like the dude a lot, but yeah, a rough spot for him. Alex, why don't you take this next one here? We've got the co-main event of the evening: Kai Kara France versus Steve Ursek, the pizza boy. I like dude, I love Steve Erceg, man. I was kind of a hater in the beginning because I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And I love this fucking guy now, man. I actually think that he won his fucking last fight against the fucking champ, Alexandre Pantoja. I think that he beat Pantoja. Damage, if we're scoring damage, Erceg won. No question. He showed a wink of bad fight IQ in that fifth round where he went for a takedown. That was stupid of him. But you know, he's new to the UFC, and I'm sure that he knows that. But man, I can't say enough good things about Steve Erceg. He's fucking huge, a little bit slower for flyweight, but powerful. So, Alex, I'm curious what you think about this, man. Lead us off.
I think we're going to see a war in this fight. This is going to be a fan-friendly fight for as long as it lasts. Happy it's 5 rounds. I think that helps Erceg. Francis struggled in as the fight has gone later. I think Francis is going to keep it close until he starts to wither away. I think he is live for a knockout. I think Steve is chinny a little bit. So I'm going a little bit light with this, but I'm going to go Steve Erceg finds a late knockout. I'm going to say round 4. I think he's definitely going to be the fan favorite to ignite the arena. And I think this is his walkout party, in my opinion. And it's not often because this is a strange fight because he just fought for the title, had a very close fight. And now he's still fighting up in the rankings against France, who's on a 2-fight losing streak, who's ahead of him in the rankings. So it is a strange scenario. And I have a very bad trend against me, which is, you know, these fighters who lose title fights typically lose their next fight. And I am betting against the trend here. I just think it's one of those rare scenarios where we get a win. So I'm going to go Astro Boy, round 4 KO.
I like it. I'm going to go second because I have some opinions on this. Kai Kara France is so fucking fast on the feet. He is so disgustingly fast on the feet. Like it's tough for people to keep up with him on the feet, right? Even I mean, he was piecing up Brandon Moreno when Brandon Moreno was at the top of his game, right? Just I mean, if it wasn't for that liver shot that Brandon Moreno kind of I mean, a liver shot's always kind of a lucky shot, right? Because you can there you don't think so, Jared? You're shaking your head.
No, I don't think so.
I think that I think it is because everyone knows as a fighter, you know that your opponent has a liver, right? And people go for that with the body shot, but they don't always hit it in that perfect spot. So I think it's a lucky shot because it's a very fine point. Like your liver's your biggest organ, but the spot that you have to hit for that to actually shut someone down, like the whole science behind the liver shot is when you hit someone real hard in the liver, it releases toxins throughout your body and it makes you curl up like when you spray poison on a spider. Like you know when you spray poison on a spider, they curl up and they die or like right away, right?
Right.
That's the whole thing about a liver shot. But there's a certain point, like a couple inches under that right nipple is where that spot is to where you shut these people off. It's not
Yeah.
the
See,
entire liver.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you know he's aiming for the liver if it did hit the liver? Because, like, I don't
That's
know.
why
I'd
I'm
like to
saying
say,
it's a lucky shot.
I don't think it is. You're not throwing like I'm going to kick him in the liver so hard. You're throwing with intent to the body, and it dropped him. Like,
That's why I think
I
it's a
don't,
lucky shot because
I
you
don't
can
think
hit
that's lucky.
people.
But you had the intent to hit him in the body at that time. You saw an opening and took it.
Right. But like if you hit someone on the left side of the body, it's not going to drop them the same
I don't
way
know,
that it
man.
would.
He threw that kick with intent. I mean,
Sure, he
that's the
did.
thing. There's intent. If you're throwing hard, you're trying to finish the fight. A lot of the times, it's not the one that you're banking on that puts the person down. It's just like the one that puts them down. You don't even. I don't know. It almost doesn't feel like it would put someone down. It's hard to describe.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, you would know more about this than I would, but I just feel like the liver shot is such a precise thing. It's almost like catching someone perfectly on the chin or catching someone perfectly behind the ear with like a head kick. You know what I mean? Or at the top of the temple, like how Islam knocked out Volkanovski the second time they fought. That seemed like a lucky hit. You know what I mean? Like obviously there's skill involved in all this shit, but there's a little bit of luck involved in any of these precise strikes. The guy's dropping his hand at the perfect time. You're throwing it up at the perfect time. Like there's a little bit of luck, I think, involved in a lot of these like flash knockouts. Like Rose Namajunas, when she knocked out Zhang Wei Li, there was a little bit of luck involved in that, right? All these different things, like when there's these flashy knockouts, Israel Adesanya knocking out fucking Alex Pereira, a little bit of luck and all that stuff, right? Like it's not to say that these people aren't skilled, but I think that anytime that there's these flashy finishes, there's a little bit of luck involved. And that liver shot that Brandon Moreno landed on Kai Kara France, I think was a little bit of luck, just in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And because he was getting his ass beat. I mean, you look at Brandon Moreno's face at the end of that fight, he clearly looked like he lost. If you said who won this fight between Kai Kara France, Brandon Moreno, you just showed their fucking faces. Everyone would say Kai Kara France won because Kai Kara France was beating the shit out of Brandon Moreno. But the reason that I think that Steve Erceg wins this fight against Kai Kara France is because he is bigger. I think that he's going to look towards the grappling a little bit more, and he's going to be able to set up that grappling with his strikes because he's a very well-rounded fighter. So he's going to he's probably not even going to shoot a takedown in the first round. He's just going to show his hands early round two. He's going to come in, shoot some takedowns, and probably finish the fight in round 2 or 3 via sub because he's so much bigger than Kai Kara France and so much more well-rounded on the ground than Kai Kara France. So give me round 3 sub I'm sorry, actually give me a round 3 knockout for Steve Erceg because I think he's gonna just fucking show him everything. I think he's gonna dominate and he's gonna confuse Kai Kara France on the feet, mix in the takedowns, and he's gonna set up that knockout in round 3. And Steve Erceg gets the knockout in round 3. Harry, where are you at here, man?
All right, man. I like this fight because I think that despite Kai Kara France struggling with opponents who are much taller than him, uh, yeah, I think that this is just the Albazi fight all over again with a lot of risk in Urseg striking. But here's the thing, right? So I think it opens up slow, first, second round, but Urseg is a risk taker, man. He's gonna try France, and I'm hoping that when he does and he tries to touch up on Kai France, that Kai's going to return that shit. And that's when I think it becomes a grappler's delight to a degree where you see Kai defend a lot. And he won't look like Pantoja or nothing, but Kai's definitely going to have better cardio than Pantoja. He's going to be much faster, better sequences, combinations, as if it were Albazi versus Urseg, right? So it's this is France's biggest fight, man. I think he wins here, man. I think we were just talking about how there's not a shortage of fighters on a roster, but a shortage of being able to match make for a championship fight, man, at the flyweight division. You got Kai Kara France, you have Charles Johnson, you have Bruno Silva, right? And then and you got Pantoja. So I've heard even rumors of Pantoja facing Demetrius Johnson, man, trying to get DJ on there. I don't know how much credit there is to that rumor, but again, there's a shortage of matchmaking flyweights to title contention or championship fights.
You saying that
Um,
Demetrius Johnson might come back into the UFC?
Well, that's a rumor. That's a rumor. Everyone's discussing. Why? Why are people discussing crazy shit like that? Now, I think he's on a contract, so it would have to be some collab. Some WWF meets WCW, right? One championship versus UFC. Shit like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. They'll never do it with PFL. I guarantee you that. But with one, they could do it with one. One is so different. It's
I think
different.
there's no way that the UFC collabs with anyone.
They
Personally, you might be right though, Harry. I
well,
just
they've
don't
done
see that.
business with one in the past when they did that trade. It was a strategic trade when they traded Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren.
That
That
was
was
a
like a
horrible
strategic.
fucking.
Well, it was a smart trade on the UFC's part because they send a great guy over there and Demetrius Johnson, the UFC guy, to go fucking conquer everybody in one. while the one guy being Ben Askren comes to the UFC and gets fucked up and, is one of the biggest highlights shown on every UFC promo.
Maybe
Yeah.
Dana has a liking to the CEO too, man, because that guy, he really worked to get this organization up and going, man. One
Yeah.
championship.
Chatri Sityodtong.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name?
Chatri Sityodtong.
Is he Russian?
No, he's
No, he's Asian.
fucking, yeah.
Like Chinese or what? You know, Jared?
I'm not sure what he is.
Is he
He could
East
be
Asian?
Thai,
Like
who knows?
maybe
But I know
Uzbekistan? Who
I know
knows?
he's Asian. He's like the Dana White of one championship, though.
Yeah, I've seen his face. I didn't know his name. So yeah, that's good information to have. But yeah, continue with what you're saying, Harry.
Man, that would be incredible if DJ were a mole for Dana. Damn, man. I know. No, I know Vince McMahon did that. Vince McMahon did that with ECW, with AEW. Vince is a genius, bro. All these guys, you think Jeff Hardy, Matt, they went over to the dark side? Get the fuck out of here, bro. The only guy that was never bought was CM Punk. That was a real beef. But everybody else who's left the company, get out of here. They went to leak information. You know what it is to own $1 billion company, brother? Nobody owns $1 billion company except for Vince. It's a public corporation, publicly traded, staked by people like you and I. That's how billions work. You know what I'm saying? Vince had to run a company like that. He had to deploy everything he could possibly do.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to talk more conspiracy, Ari Emanuel, the guy affiliated with the UFC and stuff, like he's got two other brothers that are affiliated, like
Israeli
well,
intelligence.
it is Israeli intelligence, but his brothers are also affiliated with like the NIH, like healthcare shit. And then
Oh, yes. They
there's
are. They
three
are.
brothers. The three Emmanuel brothers are all affiliated with pop culture in the UFC, production, and like all kinds of different shit, and then healthcare. So yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird situation that we see in the UFC, and that's why it's cool to like check these different angles to see like, okay, who's supposed to win. And that's why, not to spoil the main event, but I think that they really do want someone to win this main event later. But yeah, finish off with your picks here and give us what you think, man.
Yeah, so all in all, I think that Kai France is going to win this fight, man. Long
Interesting.
overdue. Long overdue. Good
And he
footwork too, man. Good takedown defense.
he has a case too because his line was minus 230 at open and now it's minus 160. So heavy, sharp action coming in on Cara France.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Again, Harry, for the sake of the show, method, round, what do you got?
I say decision. All 5
Decision?
rounds. Yeah.
Okay.
Usyk would be stupid, like I said, man, to take those risks. He's gonna do it. You'll see it, and Kai's gonna counter him, and he's gonna feel it. But I just hope Usyk doesn't play funny in the fourth or fifth because he's getting finished, my friend. He's getting finished. Kai wants that finish too, man. He's overdue for one. Kai's put in the work, man. After defeating Askarov, man, and he's just and that robbery with Albazi, it sits terribly, man. He must feel like shit. He has a daughter, a newborn daughter. He had mental health issues because he was living like a hole in a wall, man, back home. So I just think this is for him, man. I think this is for him. And Ursek knows it too. I was listening to short interviews it's a tight knit community. Like they all know each other. This guy, Stuart Nickel and Urseg and Kai, like they all know of each other, hear of each other, and they're very compassionate with one another. It's why I don't like Stuart Nickel, but I would not have bet him. I would have bet Aguilar. However, his skills pay the bills, baby. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I might not like your personality indicator, but your skill set is there, and I got to keep my mouth shut.
I like him. Jared, you're pulling up the tail on this. What do you think about this co-main event of the evening? You're muted, I think, or we're just not hearing you.
Nope, I was muted. Yeah, now I'll make it quick. You guys pretty much hit on everything. I'm on the Urseg side. Just the kind of the way I look at it, I know Kai is fast. He throws a lot of punches when he's on the feet, but he's not super accurate, even though, he has a lot coming at you. He's not landing all of it. I just think whatever he puts out on the feet, Urseg can match that on the feet, and on the ground, I think Urseg has an advantage there. It's a really good fight. I think it's a close fight, but I think Urseg can just he has more options to find success in this one. So Urseg decision.
All right. So Harry is the outlier here on Kai Kara France by decision. Yeah, man. I think it's very interesting. It's a good co-main event. I love the co-main event. Possibly more than the main event, because the main event seems a little bit forced on us. And Jared, I want to go back to you because you have been so good at your predictions lately, man. I think that you just deserve to take this one first. And we will throw this right back to you. Do a little snake draft kind of situation here where you go last on the last one and first on this one. Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Uh, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't think that Israel Adesanya deserves this, but what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I'm right there with you that he definitely doesn't deserve this. I mean, the card is built around him. DDP is so fucking sloppy, and he goes for everything. You know what I mean? But everything he throws it hard. If he's smart, he'll try to wrestle. This dude is like so sloppy on the feet, especially after 2 rounds. I mean, Adesanya is so much better on the feet. And he has decent takedown defense. Dricus, he just got to look to push the pace and try to wrestle in this one. I I think Izzy's pretty much better everywhere, but I think he has half a foot out the door. And I have a rule of thumb: when a champion is at plus money, I bet him, and the majority of the time it works out. The last time I remember it not working out was Glover against
My
fucking
dog,
yeah,
Jamal.
right, and that was yeah, and Jamal was a slight favorite in that fight, but that was the only time I can recall a champion as an underdog losing. So I'm just like, I don't know, I got to go for it. So even though
Or
I think
champion is a
Izzy's like,
favorite, right? Or champion.
I mean, a champion as an underdog.
Yeah.
So it's just whenever I get a champ at dog odds, it's just an auto bet for me. I think Izzy's better everywhere. I think Dricus is sloppy as fuck, but it's worked for him some way, somehow. It's fucking worked for him. And I mean, Sean Strickland, the highlight of his career is obviously beating Izzy in that fight. And it's like that he's a weird style too. Like, and at the end of the day, he's really not that good. I think Dricus is the most sloppy, beatable champion in the UFC. And I still don't think Izzy beats him. It's a weird fight. It could go a lot of ways, but I think Dricus's sloppy, weird, bad style is somehow going to beat Izzy when you're not going to stand and trade with him or fight a technical fight with him. Like, he's just weird. He throws crazy shit. I just think he has such a weird style. It's going to fuck with Izzy in there. So I'm going to say it goes long, 5 rounds, DDP by decision.
Okay. I like that. I don't hate it at all. I'm going to go last on this because I do have an opinion, a big opinion. And I think that, DDP, I said that I was going to quit betting, even though I did bet on DDP against Robert Whitaker. I said I was going to quit betting if DDP beat Robert Whitaker because MMA just doesn't make sense if fucking Dricus du Plessis beats Robert Whitaker in a fist fight.
That was easy money.
No, it wasn't. It did not make sense. It did not make sense. But I did have DDP KO round 2 or 3. And guess what hit? So, I had Robert Whitaker knockout round 1 or 2, and I had DDP KO round 2, 3. And yeah, I mean, I hit it. So it was a wild situation there. I don't get it. Harry, what do you think about this? And then we'll go Alex, and then we'll go myself. I want to take this one out, and we'll finish it up. But Harry, what do you think about this main event?
Man, we've seen the. I mean, here's a KSW guy, another one, right? Driscus, Gamra, and I don't see you're going. I don't think you're ever going to see Driscus improve much. What you see is what you get from these KSW guys, right? And I have Israel Adesanya outright. We've seen this fight already. We've seen it with Paulo Costa, with Robert Whitaker. It doesn't change, you know. Driscus is just a Marvin Vittori who throws kicks. and may seek a takedown and hold on to a single leg if he's in trouble, right? So Adesanya has that question mark kick to right. He can find his spacing, calf kick galore, and if you think for a second you're gonna get a high kick where Duplessis is going to drop Adesanya as Adesanya moves laterally around the octagon like Robert Whitaker did, get the hell out of here. No way. Impossible. So, with that said, I also like a narrative analysis on this fight. I want Adesanya to win, to create the biggest pay-per-view ever at light heavyweight, to challenge Alex Pereira at light heavyweight and seek double champ status. I think he's going to lose, but shit, you never know, man, because Izzy would still lose to Pereira at middleweight. It took Izzy to be not just evasive, but very manipulative, and to play possum against Pereira in order to slam him with that right hook. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Izzy could have beat Pereira if it were fair and square without having to feint or have something that Pereira could bite on. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
fair and square, though.
Well, oh, yeah, fair and square in that regard. Yes, yeah. I mean, clean technique, clean, nothing dirty. You feel me? I would say persuasive, manipulative feints, things of that nature for you to bite in an early round like that is a little tacky. You get what I'm saying? When you're the greatest kickboxer ever, that's what I mean in that context. But you're right. You're right. It's fair and square. You're 100% right. He figured it out. So that's what I think. I think Izzy will win, create the biggest pay-per-view ever since Khabib and McGregor against Pereira at light heavyweight, before Pereira moves up to heavyweight, because there's a huge gap in timeline right now with the Tom Aspinall fight with Stipe and John Jones. It's too much shit going on. You have the Cyril Gane fight coming up here soon. So Pereira needs some downtime, and he is gaining the weight. He is getting bigger, so I think he's gonna take this into shit, yeah, a fight with Izzy. So yeah, that's it, man. That's my take. That's how I see this unfolding.
All right. So, again, sake of the show.
Shit, bro. To be honest, I want this shit to be memorable, and we have not had a memorable pay-per-view since Tom
300.
Aspinall. Let me see, Tom Aspinall, get the fuck out of here, knocking him out. Curtis, wow, nah, there's not since 300. Why was 300 memorable?
Max
Pereira's right
Holloway.
hook, Max Holloway. Yeah, okay, good. So yeah, I think Izzy's going to finish Duplessis. Duplessis is young, he'll be back, bro. He's only 30 years old, man. He'll be back.
Okay. So you got Izzy by knockout. What round?
In the third or fourth.
Gun to head. 3 or 4.
Three.
All right. I like it. I like it. Alex, where are you at, dude?
So I just want to make a claim that I'm very back and forth with this fight. I do usually agree with Jared, and I typically do bet the underdog at dog odds. It is very rare occasion. And Harry makes up a good claim. The narrative is very clear that the UFC wants Izzy to win here. Why else would they give him this lazy shot? And that kind of scares me too, because if he does win here, it's going to be controversial, guys. There's going to be a lot of talk about it. It's going to be the talk of the town. Sean Strickland's going to be on the mic every day on Twitter going off like he's the fake champ. Honestly, I think it really sets up a great Sean Strickland rematch. I might go against, Harry's narrative here. But I'm betting over here. I like the over 2.5. I'm going to bet the durability of both these guys and just go right back to the well. I might even get a little bit safe and find a parlay with the over 1.5. But that's where I'm safe. I do think Izzy is live for a knockout, though. While Izzy does rush in with his chin up, that check right hook is open there, just like the same one he caught Whitaker there with. We could see a repeat. So I am worried about that, but I'm going to stick with the over here. I think that's a great leg for a parlay piece. But for the sake of the show, I'm going to go DDP, finds a submission over Israel Adesanya in round 5.
Wow. That's going to be some big fucking money.
For the sake of the show.
I mean, that's a big money spot. I don't see a world where Izzy doesn't win this fight. I do not see a world where Izzy doesn't win this fight. He's brought in, he took a year off. This is contender Izzy. This isn't champ Izzy. Izzy's not trying. I hate Israel Adesanya. I can't stand. I don't like his ideology to where he says that he was getting booed in Australia because Australia is racist. Like I hate that shit that he says. It's stupid.
Wow, he
Um,
said that. That's crazy.
he said that Australia was rooting for Sean Strickland because Australia is racist. I
Damn.
I hate that shit. I think it's so stupid.
Know who the fan favorite's gonna be then?
Well, yeah, DDP is going to get the crowd cheers. No one really likes Israel Adesanya anymore, it seems, but the UFC does. And the UFC is bringing this in. They're giving him the opportunity to get this back. I will tell you, every single time I watched that knockout that Israel Adesanya had over Alex Pereira, it looks fake as fuck. If you want to go back and watch it and tell me that it doesn't look fake as fuck, go back and watch it. Watch that fucking knockout where he's playing the rope-a-dope. He lands a quick right. It was kind of like an overhand hook, sloppy right over an elite kickboxer like Alex Pereira. Lands that, and that stuns Alex, supposedly. And then he catches him with like this winging blow. Again, I think it was with a right. And then as soon as Alex falls down, now, yeah, Alex was cutting down an obscene amount of weight. This dude probably weighs 260 pounds walking around, cuts down to 185 for these fights. And Izzy goes down and he like does a fake hammer fist at the end. Like rewatch that finish. I see it all the time. And every time I see ESPN post this on Instagram or anyone post this, I always say, this was a fake knockout. I always say it from my Instagram. I always say it. It looks fake, but there's a narrative to be built here. There's two other champions that have gotten the belt 3 times, Randy Couture and John Jones, that have gotten the belt 3 times after not being crowned, right? Like, so like, obviously with John Jones, there's a lot of fucking muddy shit there. He got kicked out and had to go back and get the belt again and all this stuff. Randy Couture was the other one that was pretty clean. There's steroids. Steroids were abundant in the Randy Couture era, but Israel Adesanya is going to be the third one to hit this trifecta of, 3 champs getting their belt back for the third time. The narrative is there. Everyone fucking, like, the casuals love Israel Adesanya. And Alex, last week you were talking about, like, we don't want to be on the casual side. Sometimes you do want to be on the casual side. You wanted to be on the casual side when Sean O'Malley fought Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling is the better mixed martial artist, in my opinion. But Sean O'Malley made it look easy. Easy. You see this over and over again. And I would actually argue that you saw that with Jamal Hill and Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira is far, far superior in the mixed martial arts than Jamal Hill is. But Jamal Hill won. And, he's the more marketable guy, the young American dude versus the old Brazilian, all these things. So I do not see a world at all where DDP wins this. And this is coming from an Israel Adesanya hater. So give me Israel Adesanya. Give me knockout round 2. I have no finishes on my card other than the Dan Hooker fight. And yeah, give me Israel Adesanya knockout round 2. I think that he makes this look fairly easy because he's a counter striker coming at fighting a brawler, right? DDP is going to come charging in, being reckless, doing crazy shit. There's a lot of emotions on the line. The whole N-word thing, right? Fucking Israel Adesanya is throwing out N-words here and there. Crazy, crazy emotions. But the UFC loves Israel Adesanya. I think Israel Adesanya scores that knockout in the second round. And I think he makes this look easy, man. And probably either retires or he loses his belt after this. But yeah, give me Izzy. Give me Izzy knockout round 2, man. I think it's crazy that the odds are like this, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about the odds, but I see Izzy all day here. And again, I cannot stress how much I do not like Izzy. I mean, Harry, you're not on here very often. What do you think about the UFC loving Izzy versus DDP?
I just think that they don't have much time with Izzy, so they have to capitalize, leverage the man, and matchmake him into whatever final days he's got left. The odds are the way they are because we're all broke as fuck. They've cleared our accounts out in the last 3 months with all these big favorites going down. Look at C-Rod getting spanked in Colorado, man. Crazy. It's just wild. So of course, what's $1 million to them? Hey, I'll say on a minus 135. I'll say this: if Drake bets Izzy, I'm all in.
Well, yeah, Drake is usually like the fade, right, for the community, but like
Oh, bro, he's lost like the last 4 or 5 tickets, man. He's got to win one. He's due. He's sponsored by Steak, so I'm in, all in. I'm letting you know right now. I'll cancel all my bets, cash out, and go big on Izzy. Period.
well, unless I heard you wrong, Harry, you have Izzy knockout round 3.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's no need to cancel any of that shit if fucking.
No, I'm saying like in general, like if I have other bets, for example, I have a Nichols bet. I have a old girl, the Scottish girl. What's her name?
Okay.
Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill. I got Gamrot, fight not to go the distance. I'll cash out all that, and I'm going 100% in on Izzy if Drake bets him.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I just do not see a world where Izzy loses this fight, man. I just can't see it. So Harry and I on Izzy, Jared and Alex on DDP. Interesting. We're split on the main event. It's gonna be a fucking fun card, man. I'm so excited. We've got Dana White's Contender Series here on Tuesday as well. I'm gonna release this audio tonight. Alex, you can release the video whenever you'd like on your YouTube channel. But real quick, do we have any picks on Dana White's Contender Series before we wrap up? Nothing.
Mine are
I don't
going
get.
to be published on the proschmo.com website, so you can find that shit on there tonight after midnight.
Perfect. Perfect. Jared, you got any picks on DW?
No
CS?
Contender Series, but I got this whale bet in the steamer. Even though I'm real focused on our ladder bet, but I still had to put together a whale bet in the steamer.
Okay. Well, real quick, I'm gonna just say I've got a 5-team on the Dana White's Contender Series. I've got Antoine Ho, who's an underdog. I've got Jose Delgado. I've got Bruno Lopez. I've got Meng Ding, and I've got Abdul Malik for the 5-teamer, and that's plus 540 when I got it. I threw 50 on that just to fuck around. I got one dog, and yeah, man, I think that I'm fucking stoked for Dana White's Contender Series, man. It's always super fun watching fights in the middle of the week. It's cool. And let's hear these fucking prop bets, man. Jared?
All right, whale bet. We're going Gamrot Urseg plus 111.
Okay.
Now, mind you, wait for the ladder because, like, we're
Hey, that plus 111 hits.
I know. I had that thought as soon as I like punched those two, and I was like, all right, it's meant to be. But I'm real focused on the ladder bet. So like the whale bet, the steamer, I'm just kind of throwing it out there just so I throw you something. But ladder bet is what we got a goal, 8 flips. We've already hit 4 flips. We're halfway there. We just have to do the same thing we did 4 more times. So that's what I'm focused on right now. So that'll be the big one for us. But this week's whale bet, Gamrot, Urseg, plus 111. Steamers a juice one. Alex would say round robin it. Aguilar, O'Neill, Prates, DDP, plus 1807.
1807. Okay, Aguilar, O'Neill, Prates, and DDP. Wow. All right. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Alex, you got any props? You got anything that you think that people should focus on here?
I would have hit Gamrot money line. That's a great leg to use. Gamrot decision only is a safe line to use as well. It's going to be juice though. I am going to be using the over 1.5 in the Ursig France fight, and I'm going to be using the over 2.5 in the Duplessis Adesanya fight. So I am looking at a lot of overs in the main card. And yeah, that's all that I'm confident in so far. I'm trying to stay away from some fights this week.
You had Gamrot over in DDP's fight, and then what was that third?
Over 2.5 in the main event.
No. You had Gamrot over in the DDP, and then what was that other one?
Over 1.5 in France Ursig.
Okay. France. Okay. I mean, Harry, I don't know if you want to throw any props out, but I mean, if not, we'll wrap up.
Yeah, it's just Gamrot, Hooker, fight not to go the distance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that.
Cool. I love it. Well, guys, if you like what we're doing here, follow all these people. Jared, plug your shit.
I'm just T-Pics on Instagram. Fucking, if you want to know what I got, shoot me a DM or fucking just talk some fights. Or if not, then whatever. You're fucking gay.
Most people are gay these days. Alex, plug your shit.
Profit Picks, YouTube, Instagram. Follow us. We're gonna post the ladder bet Friday. Let's flip.
Harry, plug your shit.
ProSchmoBets.com.
Follow all of them. Follow all of them. You know where I'm at, guys. Dangerous World Podcast, Casual KO. We post all these things, and you can track us, you can fade us, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but we are looking to flip a nice ladder bet this weekend and continue the trend. But yeah, follow all these guys, man. Thank you guys for listening. Good luck if you're betting. If you're just listening, thank you for listening. And we will see you all next week. Make sure you tune into the Dana White shit as well. Bye, guys.